talking about what's going on at CKLN right now.
Actually, I wanted to move to that, so it's a perfect transition.
Yeah, so like right now, because I'm going to say this again, you know, community and college radio influenced what I did, you know. People are going to be like, whatever. No. 88.1 CKLN, a lot of the greatest artists from Toronto, they got their start there.
Mm-hmm.
Saturdays, 1 to 4. I'm not going to say the show because now it's gone, R.I.P. that show. First time I heard, like, raw music. I don't mean the shiny stuff that we hear on the radio. I mean the raw stuff. It was on community radio by broadcasters who just want to share music. They're not getting paid. This is real, you know?
Yeah.
They're not getting paid. This is just sharing the music, sharing artists, you know, sharing. That's a big word, sharing, right? Now, not everybody's going to share everything, but I think that at CKLN right now what's happening, it's a travesty because that's a cultural icon in Toronto. There were not that many outlets. Flow came, you know, a lot of people, and this is just my personal opinion, and I don't want to get nobody involved. This is my personal opinion. When Flow came, a lot of people sold out community radio. In my area, personally.
In Toronto, you mean?
Yes,
yeah.
In my area, in Toronto. A lot of people sold out. They saw the money, a little bit of money, a little bit of fame. Fast forward, Flow changed their whole format. Look at the connections. There's connections here that people got to understand. I don't want to say no company names, but look at the connections. There's connections here that people got to understand. This thing that's going on with radio, 88.1, they're going to lose their signal, and it's going to be done. You ain't going to hear no more community radio from 88.1. And, you know, that's a travesty, especially to all the programmers who are there who put in time, all the programmers who want to share their music, all the people working hard. You know, the CRTC, they've been doing a lot of weird things lately with the internet thing, trying to use usage-based internet. They've been doing a lot of weird things lately that are not making sense. And closing down community radio doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense, especially something that's a historical, cultural icon and an outlet for marginalized music and marginalized people speaking their voice. I don't respect that. That's me personally. I do not respect. How are you going to silence the voice of the community?
No, I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, community radio is holding the torch for any kind of music genre outside of what the major 6 corporations want to play, essentially. Because typically, community radio, because it's volunteer-based and because its structure, business structure, doesn't revolve around, 100% music for money. The saddest part about that whole story is the fact that if it does get closed down, and I think the date is on February 12th, so 2 days from now is when the final decision will be made. I mean, for me, you just lose an outlet. The biggest shame is the loss of an outlet that's very easy and accessible for people to put stuff on.
When I was young, that influenced me. It's going to sound stupid. Street DJs, even street DJs always influenced me in general. Even like the mixtape, whatever. I like that, the raw stuff. So underground radio made sense. Like I said, every Saturday, 1 to 4, when I was 16 to a certain age, I tuned in every Saturday. I taped it religiously on a cassette, before the CDs, before the computers, just on cassette, just to rewind it, to go, wow, man, this guy's got great taste in music, you know? I don't lie to nobody, but, they were on something. Like I said, that whole Northern Touch, that whole era, I can say from when Let Your Backbone Fly came up to Northern Touch, man, that was just a gradual build. It was like you could see like an ascension to a higher level. But then again, what happened, This is the real. The real stayed back, but a lot of people sold out. Literally sold out. I don't mean money-wise, but their soul. They gave it away, and they did it straight generic.
All sold out, just like the Pete Rock track says.
Honestly, gone. Nothing left. When the community needs them, though, they can always get their soul back, because CKLN, it's not gone yet. It needs people. Like you said, February 12th, that's what they say they're closing. There's a petition online. Go check it out.
Yeah, actually, that's a good one. I was going to say my next question is for all of you listeners out there. Do you know, high level, do you know how people can sort of support CKLN?
Well, again, if you go on their webpage, just Google CKLN 88.1. You're going to go on their webpage. There's a petition. You can sign the petition. Now I know you're going to say some people in Ottawa, because, Toronto and Ottawa have a friendly rivalry. That's always how it is.
Yeah, but not for music.
No, not yet. Hopefully we will. A respectful one.
Yeah,
a respectful one.
Exactly.
This is real. Community radio is getting attacked. It's going to start here, but then it's going to move everywhere. I'm not on this station by mistake. What's the first campus to have community radio? You know, I'm talking to it right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is not by mistake that I'm talking to Ottawa, the nation's capital. This is something that's very dear to my heart, and, you know, I always take the time to make fun of people, but this is something really serious, where everybody's got to put their differences aside, and the people who got a big profile, who not profited, but got lifted basically off that, you know, they give them a little push in the right direction. It's time for them to use their resources that they brag about to help out a little bit. You know, it's not about money. It's not about ego. Put egos aside. You know, people want to be superheroes. Be a real superhero and save the community. The biggest superhero, the person who saves the people, not somebody who saves the corporation. All right, you got to save the people and the voice of the people. You know how many great broadcasters started community radio? And that's the thing. It's just that connection. It's just something that commercial radio will not allow. They will not allow this on commercial radio. They will not allow what we're talking about.
No.
We got to go to the script. We got to say, yes, sir, yes, this. No, we can't be real. We can't be raw. We can't say things that we're passionate about.
I mean, from a personal perspective, the reason I gravitated is because it was that exact reason. It's that you're able to voice things that are marginalized. I mean, and I feel like I just kind of rue the loss of that station if it does occur. Because, I mean, for everybody out there, CKLN is 88.1 is Ryerson University Radio in Toronto, Ontario. So, I mean, it's a university radio station, and there will still be. University of Toronto has also a community radio station, as far as I know.
89.5. We got 105.5. And again, you know, this is something where, you know, all the people that are in community or college radio, you know, they need to get together because, truthfully, the other programmers are maybe not their brothers, but it's their cousins.
Oh,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
It's amazing to go to a station like CKCU, and this is the same community station in Canada. You go into the station, and there are people from such diverse backgrounds. People, like, for all this, there were, 50 different ethnicities in the room at once, and it's amazing because everybody is bringing that unique slice to the radio that would never get played otherwise.
That's Canada right there.
Exactly
what you're saying. Something that you don't expect. You know, this thing that we're talking about, it doesn't happen in other places for the main reason because those people are not there. We're the most multicultural country in the world.
Yeah.
And everywhere is a different... Like I said, I'm going to say this again. Ottawa. To me, Ottawa, they're in the middle of things. Montreal,
Toronto.
And Toronto.
Yeah.
And people always be like, what's going on in Ottawa? Well, we need to know what's going on because it's all connected. You know, you got to go Halifax, Montreal.
It would help if we were on the 401.
We're going to find a side street if we have to. We got GPS, right? The thing is, we have to know where it is.
I like that analogy.
Because we have to find each other. It sounds stupid, but music is about finding things. I found the answer to music. People are going to go, you're crazy. I don't call myself higher level for nothing. I already know the secret of music. To me, that's trivial. You know what I mean? What am I going to do with the secret of music? That's the main thing. You're in school. You can study all day. How are you going to apply your knowledge, though?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? If you're getting drunk, it doesn't matter how good you study. If you're getting too drunk before class, you're not going to know what to do maybe on the test. You know what I mean? You got to be prepared for everything you do. How are you going to apply what you're going to do? And right now, I would hope that the people listening would apply themselves to help CKLN.
Absolutely.
It's just one voice, but it's silencing a whole community.
Absolutely.
And that's a sad thing where we can't say something to at least help it, bring some light to it, something.